Okay, the Beast Blood Pellet. To me, this item is a bit more advanced to use because it essentially makes your hunter into a glass cannon. So yes, you're going to be potentially doing more damage to whatever you're fighting, but also that enemy does more damage to you if your beast meter builds up. So the first, you have different tiers of unlockable damage increase slash physical defense decrease, and it's not perfectly linear as far as like you don't, like at the maximum level you're gonna have 70% damage increase, but your physical defense decrease will be 80%. But other than that, they're relatively the same. So it starts at 20 and it goes up in increments of 10 after 20%. So it's 20, 30, 40, etc., all the way to 70/80 if we're talking about physical defense. So the two major things that affect this are your insight level, which goes from 0 to 99, and your actual beasthood, which is at the bottom middle. See, mine's 496. You can actually get it a bit higher than that, quite a bit higher than that, but for this tutorial it's high enough to show. I'm going to show two examples in this. The first part will be 0 insight with high beasthood, and then the second example is going to be maximum insight at 99 with low beasthood, which is going to be at 5. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, this is for 0 insight and high beasthood, which we're at 496 right now. For this demonstration, I'm actually going to take my cleaver off, just so I'm not doing too much damage to the boss. Okay, so starting off, if you look at right hand weapon 2 attack, we're at 73 for fist damage. Now watch the number 73 whenever I pop the pellet. It goes to 87. And that will be the 20% increase, and then it drops back down as the meter falls. So let's start doing R1 into L1s, transformation attacks, just to build our meter up. There's other ways to do this as well. If you want, you can keep it two-handed and just do like R2s, even R1s. But R1s are not as good. But usually transformation attacks are one of the best ways to build up meter. You can see we're already at 124, which is the 70% increase. And that tier of damage is actually for the last, honestly, almost half of that beast meter right there is completely for the last tier, just because it's so massive. You see as it drops down, it might not even reach it. It's probably gonna, the 60 seconds will expire before we actually get down to the next tier. See, we're already back to 73 because it fell off. Now let's show popping it, and as we build our way up through, we're at 102, it drops down to 94, 87, and then it'll go back to the 73. 109, 116, and we're already at 124, which is the highest. They're dropping down to 116 now. Just see it relative to the size of the meter. So at 116, about halfway point, still at 116. A little bit below, still 116. 109, about there. And it completely fell off. Yeah, you can see I mean, there's not going to be many situations, honestly, unless you plan around it pretty heavily, that you're going to have absolute 0 insight. And, I mean, you gotta put in a good bit of effort to get your beasthood pretty high. I mean, like I said, you can actually get more beasthood than this even, which is basically just going to extend the bar even further, so your last tier of damage increase is just going to cover probably even more than half of the beasthood bar. So that is it for the showcase of 0 insight and high beasthood. Now let's move on to 99 insight and lowest beasthood I could get, which was 5. Okay, and this is to show what happens when you have maximum insight and the lowest beasthood I could achieve, which if you look at the bottom middle is at 5. So again, our starting damage will be at 470. And then let's show what happens whenever we pop the actual beast meter. So you get 20% jump to 565. It's a very short time because this meter is so small, it falls off very quickly. So this first hit, if we don't show any meter at the top, we're at 0% damage increase. But when we hit and do a follow-up attack, that second hit will actually benefit from the 20% damage increase. You can see it still helps. If you're going more aggressive, it's better to pop a beast meter even in this situation than not. You'll still get way more damage, but obviously you're not benefiting as much as you can having, you know, the lowest insight possible and trying to get your beasthood as high as possible.